Ibrahim Traoré's Green Revolution, how Burkina Faso is bringing life back to the Sahel. Right now, in the heart of Africa, something extraordinary is happening. While the world talks about war, coups, and chaos, Burkina Faso's young revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is quietly waging another kind of battle. Not with guns, not with bombs, but with trees, water, and food. Yes, you heard that right. Traoré is on a mission to bring life back to the Sahel, and even to push back the Sahara Desert itself. This isn't just about Burkina Faso, it's about Africa's future, climate survival, and the rebirth of a continent long written off by the West. The desert fight back. The Sahel is one of the toughest places on Earth. Stretching across Africa from Senegal to Sudan, it's the front line of climate change. Every year, the Sahara pushes further south, swallowing farmland, forcing families from their homes, and fueling poverty and migration. But in 2025, Traoré declared war on the desert itself. His government launched massive anti-desertification programs mobilizing Burkinabe citizens in nationwide tree planting campaigns. Imagine this, thousands of young people, farmers, even civil servants, all planting trees in coordinated waves: acacias, baobabs, fruit trees. Why? Because trees don't just look pretty. They hold the soil, lock in moisture, stop wind erosion, and create microclimates. One Burkinabe farmer put it simply, "A tree is our shield. Without it, the land dies. With it, the land feeds us." And that's the genius of Traoré's movement. He's making ecology part of national pride, not just charity. Youth incubators and agro-silvopastoral innovation. Now here's where things get really innovative. Traoré isn't just planting trees, he's planting a generation of eco-leaders. Through what he calls agro-silvopastoral projects, the government is blending agriculture, forestry, and livestock into one sustainable model. Young students are being given plots of land, seeds, water pumps, and training. Think about that, instead of just teaching from textbooks, kids are literally growing tomatoes, onions, potatoes, and wheat with state support. One Reddit post from a Burkinabe user showed photos of youth farmers in Bagra, working government-supplied land. The caption read, "We are feeding ourselves and learning to feed our country." This is more than farming, it's a new culture. A new idea of freedom. Not just political independence from France, but food independence, economic independence, and ecological independence. The power of water. But you can't grow crops without water. And in the Sahel, water is gold. That's why Traoré's government is investing heavily in irrigation and water infrastructure. Projects like the Sahel Irrigation Initiative are restoring dams, building reservoirs, stocking fish ponds, and channeling water into hundreds of hectares of new farmland. Farmers who once watched their crops wither under the burning sun now have access to reliable irrigation. And those fish ponds? They're not just about protein, they're about ecosystem balance, income for families, and nutrition for children. When you see water flowing where there was once only dust, you understand why people call this a revolution. Agroecology, healing the land. Here's the part that Western media barely talks about. Burkina Faso has adopted a national strategy for agroecology. What does that mean? Instead of just pumping chemicals into the soil, they're combining traditional African knowledge with modern science. Farmers plant shrubs and trees alongside millet and sorghum. Roots lock in water. Leaves shade crops. Soil microbes flourish. It's farming in harmony with the land, not against it. This matters because the Sahel can't be farmed like Europe or America. The rain is too unpredictable. The land is too fragile. Agroecology is the only way to make it sustainable. And Traoré's government is betting the nation's future on it. From farm to factory value creation. But Traoré isn't stopping at the farm. He goes all the way to the factory. Burkina Faso has long exported raw crops at low prices only to buy back processed goods at 10 times the cost. That's the colonial trap. Now, new factories built under Traoré's watch are processing tomatoes, cotton, and other crops right at home. Picture this, a factory processing dozens of tons of tomatoes every single day. That means more jobs, more income, and more food security. This is how you break dependency on Europe and build a sovereign economy from soil to shelf. The bigger picture. Here's where the story explodes beyond Burkina Faso. Traoré's initiatives feed into something much bigger, the Great Green Wall. This African Union mega-project aims to plant trees and restore land across the Sahel stretching nearly 8,000 kilometers. The goal? To reverse the advance of the Sahara Desert by 2030. Burkina Faso is proving it can be done. And if Burkina can do it, so can Mali, Niger, Chad, Senegal, and beyond. This isn't just about food. It's about survival, sovereignty, and dignity. It's about showing the world that Africa doesn't need to be saved by the West, it can save itself. So, is Ibrahim Traoré perfect? No. He's a controversial leader. But one thing is undeniable, he's proving that even in the harshest climate, hope can grow. The Sahara is creeping south, but Burkina Faso is pushing back with trees, with water, with farms, with factories. And here's the real question, if a small, landlocked nation can do this under international pressure and against the odds, what excuse do the wealthy nations have? This is more than politics. This is the fight for life itself. So the next time you hear about Burkina Faso in the news, don't just think of coups and conflict. Think of green shoots piercing through dry soil. Think of young hands planting seeds for a new Africa. Because the revolution is not just in the streets, it's in the fields. From desert to life, Burkina Faso's Green Revolution. Like, subscribe, comment. Do you think Africa can lead the world in climate solutions?